Hello folks, I hope all is well with you, and this video I've called the Cheerful Choice. And again, it's not the video that I was planning to do today in this group. Here's a little content tip before I go any further. If you have an idea for content, you think, oh yeah, that'd be good, I'll do a video about that. Write it down on a list, have a list of content ideas. Write them down, because you might think, oh, I'll remember them. You won't. You might remember some of them, you won't remember all of them. Write them down. And then what happens is, A, you won't forget them, so you can go to them if you think, oh, I don't know what to talk about today, for example. Or if you get another idea that comes to you spontaneously or because of outside circumstances, you can go with that one, and then you've still got this bank of content ideas that you can go to at any other time. Little content tip right out of the box there. So yeah, this video I've called The Cheerful Choice, and it's thanks to Lisa Barry that I'm doing this video. She has a great group called the MissionLed Content Revolution with Lisa Barry, and if you're not in that group, I highly recommend you go and join it. I'm in it. She does some great content in there about the Mission-Led Content Revolution. It's good stuff. And in her group, she does a weekend video prompt every week where she comes up with a topic and idea for people to do a 3-minute video. And she comes up with some great nudges in there for content. And she says, do a 3-minute live video here in the group if you want, and then use the content, go and post elsewhere on social media as well. It really is, you can use it as a springboard. She gives that every week for free in her group. And this week, her video prompt was, what's the most common question you get asked? And what's the answer? Because you can use that as content. You can use the fact that you get asked a question a lot to give the answer as content, which creates value and builds trust and perception of you as an authority, as someone who knows what they're talking about, which is obviously important. And I came up with a list of questions because I found it difficult to come up with just one. I'm often asked questions like, how do you keep coming up with content ideas? Well, I've just given you a couple of examples already, haven't I? But basically that comes down to your message. Once you know what your message is and you can go back to it over and over again, there is a technique which I use, and I happen to teach it as well. Message me for details. A technique that lets you use any prompt, any trigger point, and steer it back to your message. And once you know that technique, you're never ever going to run out of content ideas or ways to say your core message over and over again. Another question I'm asked all the time is, well, another question I've only ever been asked once, and this made me laugh. I was asked this question 25 years ago when I was a blue coat for Pontins in Turkey. Torquay. Yeah, I was a blue coat working for Pontins in Torquay, and I was walking one of the girl blue coats home back to the blue coats residence after an evening session. So it was about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, and she said, yeah, so how gay are you? Pardon? I said. She said, yeah, how gay are you? I said, I'm not gay at all. She said, oh, you definitely are. I said, oh, no, I'm definitely not. And she said, no, then there's something about you that tells me you definitely are. And I said, yeah, no, I'm telling you I'm definitely not. It made me laugh. Question I've asked once 25 years ago, and it made me laugh that much I still remember it. But a third question that I'm asked a lot is, why are you so cheerful all the time? I do actually genuinely get asked that a lot, and the response, or why are you smiling all the time? That's another way that people phrase it. And the response I give is, oh, that's just pretend, as a jokey response. And it always gets a curious expression from people, because they're not sure if I'm telling the truth or not. And in a way I am, and in a way I'm not, because being cheerful is a choice of mental energy. That's the way of summing it up that I came up with as a result of the prompt over in Lisa Barry's group, the Mission-Led Content Revolution. And I'm going to be using that as content. I'll be making a quote image about it and doing more videos about it. Being cheerful is a choice of mental energy. Now, I haven't been cheerful all my life. I'm not cheerful all the time. That would be ridiculous. I've had some bleakest of the bleak moments in my life. Couldn't be further away from cheerful. But nevertheless, being cheerful is a choice of mental energy. And what I mean by that, and I'm going to come to how it applies to turning your passion into profit online. What I mean by that is that your mental energy will arrive before you do. Your mental energy will arrive in a room before you do. It will arrive in a circumstance and a situation and a group of people before you do. When your name is mentioned, people will come up with a perception of it based on the mental energy that you put out. And in your content, your mental energy will precede you in your content. Now, if you think about if you're in a room with a group of people, doesn't matter what the situation is, and someone enters who is a miserable bastard. We all know a few of them, don't we? Yes, we do. Now, when they enter the room or a situation, it drains the energy from the space, doesn't it? There's a cloud that descends. People sort of start sighing, and they start watching what they say or thinking less positive thoughts. It drains the energy when people enter who project negative energy. But people who choose cheerful mental energy lift a space when they come in, don't they? Their name lifts, the thought of them lifts. And in your content, cheerfulness will lift your content. It really does. I do it in my videos. I always have. It's the way I talk anyway. But because of my performance experience, I know how to just crank up the dial a little bit. So it's natural for me. It is a part of my personality. But you just crank up that level of your personality, or I do when I'm doing live videos. Just crank it up. It's naturally there for me. You just crank it up a bit, and there are skills and techniques that I use as well, which I also coach, by the way. Message me for details. But never mind live videos, even if you're writing, when you're writing content to market and promote and deliver, turning your passion into profit online, you can choose cheerful mental energy. And that will come across in the content you create. You can choose to be cheerful when you're writing about what you're writing, or you can choose to be miserable when you're writing and about what you're writing. It will come across. Because if you're writing, and you're writing in a conversational style, which I recommend, by the way, I've always recommended that, but particularly in today's social media world, writing in a conversational style, in other words, exactly as you talk, there is no better way of doing it, in my view. It's the way I've always done it. So let me know what you think. Being cheerful is a choice of mental energy. It is a choice of your mental energy. And it's one of the foundations of me teaching, coaching people about turning passion into profit online. Because what's one of the things that makes us cheerful? Our passions. And we all know what they are. We all know what our own individual passion is. And blimey, that makes us cheerful. Blimey, when we think about it, it can turn up that cheerfulness within us. Okay, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below wherever you happen to be seeing this video. Signing off for now. And wishing you, as ever, health and happiness. I'll speak to you again soon.